Now, the Partygate witch hunt was revived this week after Boris Johnson's ministerial diary was leaked and he was referred to police over more frivolous COVID rule-breaking allegations. So far, Rishi Sunak has stayed silent on the woke blob and MSM campaign to finish the former PM. And bombshell WhatsApp group messages posted yesterday and immediately leaked to Sly News have exposed a fresh Tory civil war with MPs clashing over Sunak's refusal to publicly back Boris. So Thurrock MP Jackie Doyle-Price posted FFS, who on earth is spouting this bonkersness? Are you determined to turn our party into a skip fire? With Simon Hoare adding, would the last Tory MP to leave the building please turn off the lights? The nonsense, self-destroying crap has to end or our party dies. But former Education Minister Andrea Jenkyns then put her foot down, blasting, I don't like leakers, I prefer to say things to people's face. However, it is interesting some of those commenting were happy to speak out publicly against the Boris and Liz administrations, so maybe less sanctimony and hypocrisy. Clearly, many in the party are unhappy, but those at the top are not doing anything about this to bring people together. And earlier today, an anonymous former minister admitted to the Tortoise website that MPs were discussing submitting letters of no confidence in Sunak over his handling of the issue. So to speak out for the first time since the leak of her messages, the former Tory Education Minister, Andrea Jenkyns. So, Andrea, look, firstly, how predictable that those messages were leaked to Sly News. It just proves, doesn't it, that unfortunately there are members of your own party, Andrea, who are cooperating with the Blob and the MSM to bring down folks on the right of the party. Suella, Dominic Raab, now Boris.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's always been very leaky, the Cons WhatsApp group. It's actually made up of, the sycophants who praise the PM and his wife continuously because they want a job, or it's lots of hypocrisy, as we've seen there. I mean, it's interesting, Dan, because Simon Hoare, during the Theresa May years when I was publicly speaking out about her rubbish Brexit deal, I had to ban him from my Twitter because he was he kept hassling me. So, this is what I mean. I can't stand hypocrisy.
No, indeed. Of course. But look, Andrea, the point is, why is Rishi Sunak not prepared to back the former Prime Minister, Boris Johnson?
I agree with you. I mean, we're all Conservatives, but let's also not forget who's in charge of the Cabinet Office and the Deputy Prime Minister. Oliver Dowden, he was the first to resign, which had this chain of events with Boris as well. Now, I think that,
So do you think, sorry to interrupt, Andrea, but that's quite a key point. Do you think the Cabinet Office is deliberately conspiring against Boris Johnson?
I mean, I think there's certain members of the whole civil service. We've seen it in the Home Office department. We've seen it clearly in the Cabinet Office as well, where they're trying to bring down, key members of government, especially Brexiteers. Well, only Brexiteers. That's what they're trying to do. So, without a doubt, this is what's going on, and it's got to stop. I mean, so what saddens me, I had a great private office at the civil servants, and it's these senior civil servants who's actually, they are betraying the junior members of the civil service and giving them a bad name. I mean, look in recent years as well, Dan, look how during the head of ethics brought her own karaoke machine to the lockdown party, yet it was Boris who got the blame when he wasn't even there at the parties.
Very good point. So, Andrea, can we talk about the raw politics of this? Because this Tortoise report suggests that there are MPs who are favourable to Boris Johnson. You're, of course, one of his biggest allies. And remember, he was going to get the votes at the last leadership contest against Rishi Sunak. He did have, I think it was the 99 MPs or whatever it was, required to get on the ballot. Are you considering writing letters of no confidence in Rishi Sunak this October?
Not at the moment, because we're walking this tightrope, because look at the polling. I think it would be political suicide to, topple another prime minister. It'd mean a general election. So I'd like to see some loyalty from the Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. We're all Conservatives, and he stabbed Boris in the back when Boris plucked him out of obscurity as a junior minister. And I think it's about time he shows some loyalty. And I mean, clearly there's some campaign, whether it's civil servants or it's members within our own party, who are trying to make sure that Boris never comes back. Because he is popular. He's popular in my area as well. But I think that, we've got to remember we would much rather see Conservatives elected into government than, the wokerati of a Labour government who will destroy our country beyond recognition with their wokey policies. So I think we need to remember that, party leaders do come and go, as we've seen over the years, but ultimately we want to see a Conservative government elected with real Conservative policies as well, I hasten to add, Dan.
Indeed. Andrea Jenkyns, former Tory Education Minister, great to speak to you tonight. Thank you so much.